It seems like there's a lot of shortboards coming out these days in the e-skate world, so today we're going to take a look at one from Verreal. It's called the Ace. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and today we're going to look at a shortboard called the Ace from Verreal. Now, I don't have any experience with Verreal previously to this. I've never tried any of their boards, but when they approached me about reviewing the Ace, I looked at the website, and the first thing I said was, wow, that is the largest enclosure that I've ever seen on the bottom of a shortboard. It's super powerful according to the specs, it's got padded grip tape, and that kicktail looks legit and usable. Plus, the price is right at $5.99. I do want to warn you, though, if you're brand new at this, if you're a beginner at electric skateboards, this one might be a little bit much for you. This is a very powerful board after riding this a bunch of times. As an example, if you watch this channel, I like to test them out in the first gear. In the first gear, I typically call granny mode because it goes that slow. This one, right off the bat, man, you're rolling at 14 miles per hour in first gear, and this has 4 gears in it. Now, I'm not a speed demon by any means. You know, I don't go much over 30 miles per hour on whatever board I'm on. That's my prerogative. That's just how I like to ride. But on a short board, I just typically don't need to go that fast. So let's take a quick look at the specs on the board. We're going to show you what's inside the box, go for a ride, and then we're going to wrap it all up. So the motors on this are Hobby Wing 5255, 1500 watt, 160 kV. The battery on it is a 12S 2P with 10C, 40 amp discharge, Samsung 40T, 21700 cells. ESC on this is a 12S Hobby Wing. One thing I like about those is the braking on it is really smooth, and it is on this board. Wheels on this, you get either 90mm orange PU wheels or 105mm cloud wheels. Typically, I prefer cloud wheels and probably still would on this, but these wheels are way softer than I thought, and they're actually really comfortable to ride on. Top speed on this is 31 miles per hour, and I'm sure it'll do that. Personally, I never really got over 22 miles per hour. Shortboard, I just don't feel comfortable going over that. Range on this is 25 to 30 kilometers or around 18 miles. Now, I haven't done a specific ride it till the battery runs out range test on this thing. Perhaps I'll do that in the future. I weigh 195 and went about 10 to 12 miles on it and only killed, I think, 2 bars. Of course, it does come with a charger, but they do have an optional 6 amp fast charger. The board weighs about 18 pounds, so it's really not that much of a burden to carry. Plus, it's short, so it's not all that unwieldy. And it has reverse kingpin trucks, which I like, and they're super carvy. Well, let's go for a ride, we'll talk about it, and then come back and wrap it all up. So one complaint I do have is they put this sticker on here, and it's pretty difficult to get off of there. So, I mean, there's many other ways they could have put it like a tag around the wheel or something like that. But we're looking at the remote right now. We're in first gear, okay? So just the first speed mode. And that 14 miles an hour was accurate because, as you'll see in the video here. And then second, 22 miles per hour. Third, 30 miles per hour, and fourth. It's got a little bit more torque, and you know, I feel like it goes a little bit more than 31 miles per hour. I don't think it just adds 1 mile per hour, but yeah, that's fast for a shortboard. All right, so absolute first ride on this thing, and I did check the speeds and stuff before I started, and just with the remote, and boy, this thing, if the speeds on the remote are accurate without a rider on them, we'll see how this goes. But I'm in first gear right now. Whoa, shit. Okay. I'm gonna watch that throttle. All right, so first gear. Boy, I tell you what, this thing has some torque. All right, throttle all the way down. And that was 14 miles per hour, so I'm gonna say it's gonna be pretty accurate. Here, let's go ahead and hit second gear here. I'm telling you, the torque on this thing was a lot when I just took off a minute ago, so. Man, that did not take long at all to get to 18 miles per hour, and I was not topped out, so, all right. First impressions are, it feels real solid. I love the whine of these motors. Check it out. I just love that. Oh look, here's a speed thing. Okay, second speed, 19 miles per hour, and I still was not maxed out, so wow. And you know what? This thing is rolling really well. My finger hasn't been on the throttle for some time, and it's just rolling. Oh. The thing is, sometimes these gloves, the thumb thing being there, I got to get a better purchase, as we say sometimes, on that throttle so that I don't accidentally bump it. You know what I mean? Now they do have a version of this with cloud wheels. You can order it like that. This is not obviously the cloud wheels, but these wheels are really good for street wheels. They're really comfortable, they're soft. Granted, I did pick a neighborhood with some really smooth roads, but you know. So I got this down in speed number 1, and even that is like, wow, it's torquey. And you could get going really fast, really quick without even knowing it, or you know, thinking about it. See, when I ride a short board like this, I think of this more as, you know, cruising to the beach, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm not a big speed demon in the first place, you know, but for some reason with a short board, I just don't have the desire to go really, really fast. But this board can do it, no question about it. Cruising along with the throttle pegged right now at 14 miles per hour. Oh, some rocks. And this thing has taken on the rocks pretty decently. With the throttle pegged to 14 miles per hour, I feel very secure. And it's a nice, fun ride. Well, I will say this board, for a short board, is very comfortable. My stance just seems to go just to the right place. My foot resting on the kicktail, front foot right above the trucks. I could probably go back a tiny bit, but that's where I feel comfortable. Now, one of the things that I was wondering with this board is because it's got such a big battery pack under there, is how heavy is it? Well, you know, I mean, yeah, you can tic-tac with it. And if I were in a situation where I needed to kind of, you know, get around something here, I could do that. But it's work, because it's heavy. Yeah, like this. There we go, a little turnaround. All right. Now this board does have the padded grip tape on it, so that definitely helps. It's got just enough concave, the padded grip tape. I don't know, my feet just feel really comfortable on here. That's some nice smooth braking right there. Wheel bite. I haven't had any wheel bite yet. And I've been turning around in cul-de-sacs and things like that, so I don't think you're going to get any wheel bite. All right, one of the things that I was wondering about is clearance over speed bumps and stuff, so let's check that out. So yeah, it doesn't seem to have any problem with clearance over speed bumps. That's good. Now, one thing that I have very little concern about is whether this thing can get up a hill. It is super, super torquey, but I'm at my favorite hill. For testing these things out at the top of this, we're definitely at about a 30% grade. So, well, I've got this only in second gear, and a lot of times I've got to put them in third gear. But this thing, it's just got a lot of power. So, by the way, I also want to point out that when you're on an incline, if you hit the brakes, this thing will just stay in one place. So that is nice. Okay, so let's get on here. Whoa. Even rolling backwards, no problem. Dude, that thing flew up that hill on second speed. Nice. And surprisingly, it's really not all that bad on rough streets. Check it. In my experience on this board, it was a fun ride. I don't always ride short boards. I prefer my boards to be longer boards, just for more stability and all that kind of stuff. But if you're looking for something, for me, this board would be good for cruising the beach, you know, that kind of thing. Going to the boardwalk, it'd be great with that. It's not a range beast where you're going 30 miles, but then again, who wants to ride 30 miles? Not me anyways, on a short board, right? I don't know, some of you might, and that's cool too. I think a lot of times companies underestimate the importance of that foam grip tape, that squishy grip tape. It really helps, you know, especially if you are going on a long ride. So I'm glad that it has that. I like the trucks on it. The wheels are really good. It's got a lot of power. And to me, sometimes it's a little bit too much, like, because the glove that I'm wearing has kind of a little thing that hits the wheel sometimes. And if you just hit that wheel, if you just give it a little bit of a jerk, man, it's like, woo, it'll take off on you. So, you know, do use some caution with that. You got to get used to, just like any board, when you get on a new board, you got to get used to that throttle and, you know, how much give it has and all that. But yeah, I mean, it's got some power, that's for sure. With a price tag of $599, that's really good. And if you get the cloud wheels on it, it's going to be slightly more, I think, but it's belt drive, so you can put just about any wheels you want on this, which is great. Of course, you're not going to put big old all-terrain wheels on this, but I was pleasantly surprised that there was no wheel bite with the wheels that are on there, so that's good. I'm not sure if this board is great for beginners, so use caution. If you know how to ride, this might be a fun ride for you, something to pick up as a secondary board just to go down the street to your friend's house or whatever. But it's got some power, so I do want to caution, if you're not really familiar with how to ride these things, just be really careful. And as always, wear your protection. I know some people are like, dude, you wear all that protection for every time you ride? Yeah, I'm over 50 years old. It hurts to crash. It's not just a helmet. I wear all the stuff. I'll put a link down in the description to Verreal's website and the Ace if you're interested in getting one of them. And I think they said they're going to send me a discount code, so if they do, I'll add that down in the description as well. So that's the Verreal Ace, and I want to thank you so much for your support here on the channel. It's been around since 2013, done many things over the years. For the last couple of years, I've been including a lot of passions of mine, like electric skateboarding, electric bike scooters, electric guitars, solar power, solar generators and panels and all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in any of that, please dig into the content here in the channel and check some of that stuff out. I do have a thanks button down there if you want to leave a monetary thank you. It's not inexpensive to run these channels, cameras, lights, microphones, and everything else that we've got to have for this. But the easiest way to thank me is if you like what you see, give this video a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, well, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. While you're doing that, you might as well click the notification bell, which means you'll get notifications when I upload a new video. Thank you again for your support. It's very humbling to me. And that's going to do it for this episode. Catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.